So, are we having a look at G2? Let's have a look at the G2 bands. Gamers 2. G2, like Sky, Theme and Bank, mid-maps of Chalet, Oregon, Club, do not like Cafe, Border, Villa, especially when you put it this way in terms of Takeout Stage 1. Takeout Stage 1, the win percentages drop off like a mad bastard. FaZe, on the other hand, basically just don't play Border. Especially recently. They don't like it. But they like Theme, Sky, and Bank. So you want me to check, don't you? You want me to see what the map's going to be, don't you? That's what you want me to do. Why have I gone exit? I don't know why I've started writing exit. Because we were talking about exit. It's very hard to predict, right? So the reason it's hard to predict is FaZe genuinely will go to any of these maps. Like, look at that rectangle. 3 is the number that I consider is, if it's like past 3.5, i.e., if I quadrant this, more or less, I consider if a map is in this top left quadrant here, it's a good map for a team. They're happy to go to it. If it's in the bottom left quadrant, it's a good map. They kind of, then they've just not had good results on it, but it's a high preference map. If it's top right, it's low preference, but they're good at it. And if it's bottom right, they're the maps that you don't want to be playing, is anything in the bottom right here, right? So FaZe, of their maps, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the top left quadrant. So G2 basically pretty much will get a pick of any of these. So if anything, you've got to then re-quadrant it, right? If you're G2, it's probably trying to stay away from them. Try and hide those away. You don't play Border anyway, so that's not going to be that. So you're talking about Oregon, Club, Villa, Chalet, Cafe. Now, I'm fairly sure G2 don't play Cafe. And they have a pretty low preference for Villa. So you're talking about Oregon, Chalet, Club, I think, if I had to do it like this. One of those 3 maps. Depending on what FaZe fancy. But if I just rearrange some of these, based on what FaZe fancy, FaZe can fancy anything. So if FaZe fancy Oregon, it'll be Oregon. If FaZe fancy Club, it'll be Club. If FaZe fancy Chalet, it'll be Chalet. And by that same token, G2, even though logically it would make sense to get rid of FaZe's best 3 maps, G2 fucking love all 3 of those maps. All 3 of them. You've also got to think, is seeding worth showing a map for, right? G2 have not shown Villa, Sky, Club, Border, Cafe. So is it worth going to any of them? No. If I'm G2, I'm trying to get to any of these maps. Because I'm definitely through now, and I've only shown 4 maps. Likewise, if I'm FaZe, I'm trying not to show anything. I'm trying to show a Bank, a Sky, a Theme, or an Oregon. So then, if we then actually lay it over, you can see both teams, Oregon. It's Oregon. Even though it shows Villa. Oregon. What? The fuck's going on with that map video?
It's before the game even started without...
What? That all says Oregon. That's Sandbox. And the picture is Villa and loads of banks. But yeah, these 2 teams, priority number 1 is not showing maps. So these 2 teams have played Theme Park and Oregon only. So they might try and navigate to a Theme or an Oregon. Because you can see them there, right? Oh, they've played Bank as well. So Theme, Oregon, Bank. Because they played Bank against each other. I don't know why Bank's not showing, whatever it is. They played Bank against each other. Why is Bank not showing? So, yeah.
Inventing lyrics for
yeah.
But the map is Oregon.
Soundtrack. And at some point we'll be
So it's not a surprise.
Or through the theater and
We know that there is a fight here. Where's it going to take place? There. Oregon.
Oh, it's like we predicted this before the game
Yeah,
even
we
started
did.
without any further information that we had that wasn't on the screen or anything.
Give me
like
some
that.
numbers as to what's
Okay,
going to go
so
down.
yes. Okay, so we have FaZe on one side. Everything has been banned by Sandbox, by the way. So,
Yeah, they did.
Sandbox just decided. It was like, guys, the game is just for first seed. Sandbox, do you want to come in and ban
Sandbox, do you
for
wanna
us?
just do all the bans?
Right, just as Sandbox did the
Sandbox-
bans for them. And they're like, you know
Why
what?
do you want to see us play?
We
Oregon.
want to go to Oregon. So, Oregon for FaZe has a 2-1 win rate. So, they've played it on a 1-2 win rate. There we go. They've won it once out of the 2 times they've played. Do you understand now?
I understand.
Okay, there we go.